Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 18. Nunam tavi ruddha kshina mai kalena bhuyasa tatra yogena drishtena bhavanadatum arhati. Translation Prabhupada by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all the grain seeds given within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by the standard process, which is recommended by the acharyas or the shastras. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When there is a scarcity of grain, the government should follow the methods prescribed in the shastras and approved by the acharyas. Thus, there will be a sufficient production of grains, and the food scarcity and famine can be checked. Bhagavad Gita recommends that we perform yajna, sacrifices. By performance of yajna, sufficient clouds gather in the sky. And when there are sufficient clouds, there is also sufficient rainfall. In this way, agricultural matters are taken care of. When there is sufficient grain production, the general populace eats the grains, and the animals like cows, goats, and other domestic animals eat the grass and grains also. According to this arrangement, human beings should perform the sacrifices recommended in the Shastras. And if they do so, there will no longer be food scarcity. In Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtana Yajna. In this verse, there are two significant words, Yogena, by the approved method, Drishtena, as exemplified by former acharyas. One is mistaken if he thinks that by applying modern machines, such as tractors, grains can be produced. If one goes to a desert and uses a tractor, there is no possibility of producing grains. We may adopt various means, but it is essential to know that the planet Earth will stop producing grains if sacrifices are not performed. The Earth has already explained that because non-devotees are enjoying the production of the food, she has reserved food seeds for the performance of sacrifice. Now, of course, atheists will not believe in the spiritual method of producing grains, but whether they believe or not, the fact remains that we are not independent to produce grains by mechanical means. As far as approved method is concerned, it is enjoined in the Shastras that intelligent men in this age will take to the Sankirtana movement, and by so doing, they shall worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, whose bodily complexion is golden and who is always accompanied by his constant confidential devotees to preach this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. In its present condition, the world can only be saved by introducing this Sankirtana, this Krishna consciousness movement. As we have learned from the previous verse, one who is not in Krishna consciousness is considered a thief. Even though he may be materially very advanced, a thief cannot be placed in a comfortable position. A thief is a thief and is punishable. Because people are without Krishna consciousness, they have become thieves, and consequently they are being punished by the laws of nature. No one can check this, not even by introducing so many relief funds and humanitarian institutions. Unless the people of this world take to Krishna consciousness, there will be a scarcity of food and much suffering. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So here again, we see here Prabhupada is bringing forth something which is very relevant to the life on the material, in the material world. Life on material earth sustains on grains, and grains need rains. And without yajna, there is no rains. There are no rains. So this is an absolute fact that is also revealed in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, states this truth, that it is grains are born out of yajna. This is Greek and Latin for the modern world. Means they cannot connect. But Prabhupada very nicely explains here that no machines can produce grain. Earth has to produce grains. And these grains, if they have to be produced, the earth has to produce, then that huge process, macro process, not something you can create. Artificial clouds, it cannot sustain. Maybe technologically they can create artificial clouds. They create. Some little shower will come. But we are talking about sustenance of the world. The world has to be sustained by the standard process. At a massive scale, sustenance means it has to be at a massive scale. And by the Lord's creation, the sunlight evaporates the water from the water bodies on the earth. Then they become cloud, and those cloud shower rains. Whatever technological advancement we have made or we can make, ultimately man has to survive by eating grains. Or that he has to eat produces that are coming from the earth. Even if you take meat is nothing but the grass and all these things are processed in the body of an animal. Animals also are dependent upon the produce from the earth. So this dependent on life on earth for the food from the earth is a fact, and that cannot be replaced by some technology. On a small scale, somewhere some artificial clouds can rain, but we are talking about sustaining life on earth, sustained method. So this sustained method, if we are getting food grains, now if you do the reverse logic, we have plenty of grains. At least there is no famine on this earth now. But there were many times when there was famine. Even in India, millions and millions of people died during the British rule. All the grains that India was producing was being taken away by the British, and the Indians. We have seen old pictures of famine in India. Horrible. It is with this very country. So all kinds of disturbances in equitable distribution of grains, or earth itself not delivering the grains. These are all the result of papa, suffering due to papa karma accumulating on this earth. Without a counteracting punya or pious activities. And one of the most important pious activity is that one has to perform yajna. Different type of yajna is prescribed in the Shastras. The Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, I created demigods, I created living entities. Now the living entities, let them perform yajna and satisfy the demigods. And of course he says, finally those yajna come to me, and I give the strength to all the demigods also to do their work. They are like administrative heads, prime minister and ministers. The Param Ishvara is Krishna, Vishnu. So a standard process is given for people on the earth to offer their yajna. And then, of course, the demigods give in return fulfill the desires of the living entity to sustain life on earth. So, if you do a reverse thinking, somebody may say, no yajna is going on anywhere. In the normal Vedic civilization, every grahastha has to do yajna. Different type of yajna. Is anybody even bothered about it nowadays? Not bothered. But still, earth is producing lot of grains. So if you take the Veda Vakyas or the absolute words of the scriptures, absolute words of the Supreme Lord, it only means that some powerful yajna is going on, due to which others are benefiting. What is the value of that yajna? It may not be exhaustive as in a normal case where every householder has to be doing yajna. Obviously that is not there now in a massive scale. So, if something of very high value, even if it's of a little scale, it can equal to something of small value. These grahasthas performing yajna to demigods, all those things, they're all small. Multiplied by mass, equal to a small scale multiplied by huge value. So we can understand that because of Sankirtana that is going on this earth, which is of very high value, like a rich man, according to level of his richness, he can feed millions. Now there is a not so rich man, he can feed little. So the standard process of yajna in the varnashrama dharma that each householder should be rendering is like an individual person, an average richness he has, he contributes towards like that. The entire population multiplied by their individual yajna brings forth prosperity, brings forth food grains, everything on the earth. But today we are seeing that that is not there. No householder is doing any yajna. Straight away, Kali Yuga, we can see that. Not only that, people not only do yajna, they are doing lot of sinful activities. And in spite of that, earth is producing grains. It is because this act of Sankirtana is like the example in a rich person, the act of Sankirtana, the value of that, the yajna value of that Sankirtana far exceeds by few people, small scale. Like Sankirtana is going on the Hare Krishna hill. Small scale. Whole of Bangalore is not participating in Sankirtana. But there are few souls who are doing Sankirtana. So in that way, if you see, in Bangalore itself, if you see, as the Krishna consciousness was increasing, the yajna for Vishnu was expanding on this Hare Krishna hill. Bangalore city also started prospering. Bangalore was nothing before 1990, nothing, small city, correct? 1999, 98, 97, 98, 90 onwards, this great yajna of building this temple was going on. Not only devotees did kirtan, so many people also outside in Bangalore city participated by giving their money, that yajna. So all this prosperity in the state, especially the biggest factor for Bangalore city to prosper was the IT, right? So it has all come up after that. If you have faith in the scriptures, you have to understand that if people are having grains, here and there, of course, poverty everywhere is there, always. But largely nobody is talking about famine and large number of people have no grains in Bangalore city, they are starving, this thing. That is not there. Whereas there seems to be prosperity. So that is due to the Sankirtana Yajna that of Srila Prabhupada movement, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this movement, Sankirtana movement. He is bringing great fortune, materially also, to the world population. So we can see, if we extend this logic, if we expand the preaching Krishna consciousness, every form of preaching is called Sankirtana. Because Sankirtana means it is the yajna, direct yajna of the Lord to Vishnu. So everything that we do in Krishna consciousness movement is directly yajna. Whether you are going and fundraising, or whether you are distributing prasadam, or you are making devotees, youngsters, preaching to them, or you are organizing festivals for the pleasure of the Lord. Where else on this earth, other than Prabhupada's temple, where yajna is going on? Thousands of devotees get preached to. They take up chanting 16 rounds. They are bringing good luck to this world. To them also. That is the reason why Krishna consciousness is, spreading Krishna consciousness is considered to be the highest welfare activity in human society. High value welfare activity. One cannot directly see that. But it is the effect of the Sankirtan. Because why? Who is Vishnu? Who is Krishna? What is his name? His name is him. And he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Forget about feeding one earth. Forget about, Akala, Akilanta Koti, Brahmanda Nayaka. He is a Lord of Akilanta Koti, Brahmanda. Uncountable crores of planets. He is a Nayaka of that. He is a Parameshwara. He is a maintainer. He is a Bharta, the maintainer of the entire universe. And obviously grain is very much required for maintaining. So these are not simply some. Otherwise, you see, you understand. If not for the Sankirtana, consider only from the material plane, if you consider the number of cows that are slaughtered on this earth is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Because huge industry, dairy farms. In the Western world, the dairy farms, they're not really for milk, economically speaking. That industry is for creating flesh to eat. So materially speaking, butchering so many cows every day. They see the number of outlets of McDonald's, like that, so many, right? How to feed meat to all these outlets? Only by a corresponding industry. Obviously, that creates huge sinful reactions on the earth. So, whenever there is such huge suffering due to war, or like pandemic came, all kinds of different kinds of suffering, Adi-atmic, Adi-bhautik, Adi-daivik kleshas, tsunami, this thing, that thing. It is a result of sinful reactions. But that all should be nothing. The entire earth should have been with the kind of, among the punyas, among the papas, cow killing is very, very, very high duty papa. There are many papa. Telling lies is a papa. Illicit sex is a papa. But killing a cow is like killing a brahmana. So materially speaking, it is high value. But even that papa is nothing before the punya of Vishnu worship or worship of his devotees. Just like you see, Kyani Kani cha papani, Brahma Hatya Dani cha, Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina. So powerful, simple devotion service are going around Tulsi. Forget Go Hatya, Brahmana Hatya, Brahmana Hatya. So you should understand the value of devotional service. High level, materially speaking, high value punya. Of course, we have to repeat that we are not doing all these things for this. We are doing all this for bhakti. It is very clearly said that devotional service, punya, high punya, is a side byproduct of pleasing Vishnu. But a devotee doesn't please Vishnu for this purpose. But you cannot expect the whole world to be devotees of Vishnu. So they simply follow the scriptures, they satisfy the demigod. Those are all low value things. So in Kali Yuga, if life has to sustain, as Prabhupada says here, in Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtana Yajna. All others are useless, pusku. It cannot match the kind of papa that is generated here. That is why we don't try to preach everybody, okay, as per Vedas, you are now a householder, please every day do the yajna at home, satisfy all the demigods. We don't do all that. We don't preach that. Why it is on this basis? That is not the process that can bring even sustain life on earth. Life on earth will be sustained only if there is such a powerful yajna as Sankirtana. So therefore, every one of, sometimes people say, you have escaped from the material world, you are a lazy fellow, you are not doing any work, you went and joined ISKCON. What you are contributing? You are all parasites, eating out of our hard work. We have to say, you are eating out of our hard work. Vaishnavas are working hard. They work hard. Their hard work is not like your hard work. Your hard work is like Gadda. Our hard work is Susukam Kartam Avyayam. Happily we are working hard without feeling it is hard. Why? Because it is Susukam. It is enjoyable, relishable. So this is a drishti, or this is the perception as per the Shastra Chakshu, that today's proof of, if you apply the logic as per Shastras, the proof that life is going on okay on this earth, at least in terms of food, plenty of food is there. Maldistribution is there, that is a different matter. Man is manipulating, but earth is giving enough food. Further, man is, putting his finger inside and all kinds of, for instance, entire modern, you see the modern economy itself is a complicated, man-created anartha. It brings not prosperity, ultimately it brings exploitation of ones by the others. For instance, you take this trade war that is going on. Entire world has become interdependent. The America may be having the most powerful weapons, but what can they do? India doesn't have even 5% of the weapons that America has got. Is it not? But still, because everything has become globalized, that means there are so many products the American population is dependent for receiving from India, and India also dependent upon so many products from America. So that is called trade. We are totally interlinked. So what weapon you have does not matter. This is another war, another dynamic, because the world has become interdependent. So based on that, you see now, India is not bending. It is no comparison, the amount of weapons that America has got. If we have got 5, something like that, they will have about 5,000. This is a comparison of weapons that they have. Therefore, America was always proud that we are the Rajas. Now trade war has become more and more. In the olden days, what was there? Each village is to sustain on local products. Very little exchange was there. There is no this scale of exchange. They can live without. In fact, earlier days, the trade was only for very precious things, not for food. Means trade was for rich people, not for sustenance. They'd go and, kings would go and, buy expensive things, jewels, this, that. That was what the earlier days trade was for luxury. To increase the luxury in a community, to increase the luxury in a kingdom, trade is to happen between kings. But there was no trading like within the country. The trading was by exchange of goods. A Vaishya will exchange what he produces by his Vaishya qualities. A Shudra, he exchanges the hard work of his quality, Shudra work, labor work. Similarly, a Kshatriya will toil. Out of his toil, what he gains, he gets his thing. And between the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, in a Varnashrama community, they are all producing something in the society. Even Brahmanas are producing something. They are producing Shastric knowledge for the people. There's production. They don't keep quiet. They are learning, they are teaching, and new population, new people are being born, and the teaching is going on, Shastra is going on, work is going on. Brahmana is working, Kshatriya is working, all 4 Varnas are working. That means there was a production. The society always needs production. So production was always there. But those production, it was limited to the exchanging within the kingdom. With most of the time it was real value based, say gold currency or all kinds of that kind of value wise, or sometimes no currency at all. No currency at all. Vaishya will get the agricultural products, and he will give it to the Shudra who worked for it. He doesn't have to pay. Keep 20% of the grain, you keep. So no exchange of, no money at all required. He toils, the land is owned by the Vaishya, and the Shudras, they work and they get a percentage. So grain only. Work is converted into grain. And the Vaishya, he gives the grain, he gives the produce, everything to the Kshatriya, goes and deposits. And the Kshatriya will give him protection. That is called tax. He used to get, the Shudra is to get his share for his work. And the king, for his work, he used to get the share as a tax. Because he also has expenditure, no? To do his work, he has expenditure. He has to give protection to the whole kingdom. So he needs expenditure, he needs something. So the Vaishyas give tax. And the Brahmanas are taken care of whatever they need by the arrangement of the Kshatriyas. The Brahmana works and gives back to the society guidance, knowledge, principles of living, all these things. So you see, this, whatever was explained, was limited to a kingdom. It's not that, some other king from 80% of your requirement is coming from somewhere. Today, 60 or 70% of our petroleum is coming from outside, or even 80%. So we are dependent. If oil import stops in India, today's India will get paralyzed. America is dependent upon more than 40% of pharmaceutical thing coming from India. That much pharmaceutical manufacturing, generic medicines are all going from India. So if India stops that, collapse. Now today, you see Silicon Valley, the top software, all the Indians just come back. America will, that a very big part of American economy, it will crash. Completely interlinked. This is human-made, no? Why? It was not there in the Vedic civilization. In the Vedic civilization, there was local economy. Multiple local economy with minimum interconnectedness, interdependence. This high interdependence has created problems for the humanity. Maybe now everything is sustaining, but for it to collapse, it takes only few seconds. Few days it will collapse. And that is predicted by Prabhupada. You don't see this kind of economy, you don't see this kind of industrial production anywhere in our Vedic, any of the Vedic civilizations. We don't hear in our Bhagavatam, in our Puranas, anywhere, we don't hear. So many consumer goods being produced. The world has completely changed. So that is called Ugra Karma civilization. This is called Ugra Karma civilization. Unnecessary needs are created for certain kind of people, the rest of the people are slogging for that. A selected people, they increase their needs. Is it not? So many needs where people were living without even branded items, correct? Now every Indian who is an IT worker, he's got some money and everything, everybody, he goes for only branded items. So India was living without that. Requirement has increased of the certain population. Now certain weaker population has to produce that. Thousands of people are working in the garment industry here in India. Where does that garment go? All over the world. They will wear nicely. Right? Somewhere far away. Here in Pina, one poor person will be working for a very small salary, morning to evening, for garment production. So we have to see this world now from the eyes of the scriptures. If you see, this is what Prabhupada says, that this is called Ugra Karma civilization. Ugra Karma means this is not the way. The creator of this world has designed life to be on earth. It's an exceptional situation. Therefore, it's artificial system. When it collapses, it will be a mass collapse. It will be a mass collapse. Any moment like this, everything can become flat. Thousands of people will suffer in every country. Who can control? Cannot control. You have to just wait and watch. And what is the root of all this? Human beings have increased their needs, and therefore they are working for artificial needs. When there is an artificial need, it is called greed. It is called greed. One economist gave a very good example how the earth is working hard to produce something that actually one doesn't need. It's a very good example. A stadium is full of people. They're all sitting in the galleries. They're watching the game. The row in front of you, they'll stand up and watch. Now the second row is blocked. First row is determined to stand up only and watch. So second row has to stand up, he'll stand up. Then what happens? Third row. In the end of the day, entire stadium, everybody will be standing and watching the football. Standing and watching. Is it necessary? All of you could have sat and watched. It's like this. We have created human society, present human society has created so many unnecessary needs, which is called greed. Need means you cannot sustain without that. Of course, in the material world, always there is according to karma, there is somebody has more money, less money, all these things. These differences are there. But these differences were never in the matter of food. Everybody had food earlier. Food shortage is not that there is today, in those, food shortage is not the meaning of less prosperous in the earlier days. It means you are less opulent. But you have food. Everybody had food. But today that is also shortage. So we thank Srila Prabhupada for giving us these great perspectives. Otherwise, who is interested in all these things in the modern days? Which education, which university, which teaches us that, how the world is actually running and what makes the world run, this yajna and all these things. Neither do they have a macro theory, why rains are sometimes there, why rains are not there sometimes. They have no idea. They don't go into that at all. If they have a problem, they'll go into it. Now there's no problem. Because of the Sankirtana Yajna that's going on in a small scale. Imagine more and more people start involving in Sankirtana. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, golden period. Even materially on this earth, there will be a golden period. It's a golden period. Sankirtana is so powerful, even the Ugrasarma civilization that the world has created will also prosper by dovetailing everything in service of the Lord. Whatever Ugrasarma is producing also, we are not keeping quiet, right? Cars, we are using cars, we are using autos, we are using airplanes, everything. So suppose everybody is Krishna conscious. They are using airplane, they are using cars. Will it become Ugra Karma anymore? No, it will not. Because it's all meant for glorifying the Supreme Lord. So this is Harivastu Sambandha. Every object should be seen, whether they are done properly, improperly, beyond the normal. Just like Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Normal yajna or normal dharma and all he has told. 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, all those things he has told. Very same things, very same prescriptions he told. He said, forget all those things. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. You listen to what I say. So similarly, we also, doesn't matter. World is going this way with Ugra Karma civilization. We have to connect it to Krishna, use it for Krishna. Social media, big Maya, but it can become big preaching. Because media is for propagating, media is for communicating. And if you communicate the glories of the Lord, that is called Sankirtana. Is it not? Just like how today, Prabhupada's all lectures are available, recorded lectures. Technology. Prabhupada gave this example in a morning walk. How we utilize everything for Krishna. He gave example how these rats, bandicoots, they dig hole in the earth, right? The snake goes inside, eats the rat and stays there. So hard work is done by the rat and snake is enjoying. Similarly, we will enjoy technology, we will enjoy whatever hard work, Ugra Karma they are doing in service of Krishna. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, this is regarding this devotional service. Prabhu, like when we go to Vrindavan, like during Govardhan Parikrama, we see so many this rich people, Seth and all, they do this food distribution. Even during Kumbh Mela, we saw like people are distributing water, various kind of sevas they are doing for the people. So, is that considered devotional service?
No, depends. If it is prasadam, it's devotion service. Otherwise, it is pusk. Ordinary food distribution is no comparison to prasad distribution. So it depends on who is benefiting, what is the... Each activity you have to value it based on its connection to Krishna. So in Govardhan they are distributing food, yes, it is high value. Because most of the devotees are there and they are consuming it. For Vrindavan, residents of the Dham. So their technicality is not there, whether it is offered food or not. It becomes high value. High value punya is one thing. Another, whether it becomes devotional service, it depends on the consciousness. Suppose a Vaishnava guru is telling him, you distribute that, and he is following that and doing it. It becomes devotional service. Suppose a philanthropist, a punyatma, he comes, oh, Annadana, Shreshta Dana, chalo, jayenge, Vrindavan jayenge. And he just, brings loads of, stuff from Delhi and starts giving away. So, whether it is, definitely it is not pure devotion service, but if the Vaishnavas are consuming that, then that makes it devotion service. But in ordinary places you do Annadana, that is giving punya. It is punya. Just today is what I spoke, please understand. There is no comparison to the punya deposit from devotion service. Means byproduct. In a factory you produce something. Side mein thoda items aata hai. So similarly, we are all putting effort for bhakti, for love of Krishna. Right? Our sadhana, everything for love of Krishna. But by the side you are seeing all this world is earning so much punya. Vaishnava's waste product will sustain this world. In a factory, you are after the main item. Everything else is waste, right? Similarly, for a Vaishnava's, papa, punya, all this are waste. I want Krishna Kripa. He is working for bhakti. But this waste is a big thing for the world. It's sustaining the world. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
To produce grain, rain is required on the earth. But we have seen that rain is also happened on over the ocean. So over the oceans, so what is the importance of rain in over the ocean? Is there any scriptures view?
What is wrong?
It is a wasting of energy of Lord Indra. It is a wasting energy of Lord Indra. Why the rain is happening over the sea?
You are saying rain is required only on the land. Why is it falling on the sea? Actually, you have to do more analysis and see. See, the earth, the temperature coefficient is different. Water temperature coefficient is different. Naturally, the clouds move towards where there is earth. So, this is my explanation. It may be correct that there will be, if you compare to the amount of rain that is on the earth and on the seas, it should be very insignificant. On the seas, it will be very insignificant. You are imagining, because you are standing in the shore of Bombay, idhar bhi rain hai, udhar bhi rain hai. But aaj deep mein jaake dekha hai, how huge the ocean is. Otherwise, why the clouds go up, no? The seawater goes up, clouds. And from there, why does it move here? The atmospheric temperature things are there. Why wind moves? Temperature variations. So wind also moves. So your question, data itself must be wrong. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.